Way too many people have suggested that we send this video, and we've been kind of putting it off. So today we thought we might break the cycle. No one? Alright, let's just get into it.
Break the cycle. Come follow me. I'll cut the strings.
This decaying brick texture is very obviously copy-pasted. Come on, Seth! The edge of the map is hidden by the building and fading trees. It's a clever trick, I'll grant the animators that much, but pretty obvious once you notice it. This doesn't look right at all. Why is only the tobacco filter lighting up and not the cigarette paper? This looks more like an e-cigarette than a tobacco one. Seth also messed up the cigarette in his disconnected video. Not to mention the incorrect amber lighting from Dream Your Dream. That means that after 5 videos spanning several years, Seth still hasn't learned how cigarettes work. I mean, I guess that's good. Don't smoke, kids. The light and bloom on Henry's cigarette is way too strong, causing it to glow blue. Also, the tobacco filter of the cigarette is so dark in this lighting that it's invisible, making it look like the cigarette paper is just floating. Also, the way Henry moves the cigarette and it just sort of gently snaps into place in between his teeth is super linear. The lighting really accentuates the age lines on Mrs. Emily's face. Then again, she is able to hold up Henry with one arm later in the video, so we can assume she's not that old. Although, adrenaline and panic can lead to feats of superhuman strength in stressful situations. So, let's add a sin for the weird lighting and remove one for Mrs. Emily's strangely plausible strength. Mrs. Emily lowers the letter without any arcs. What are you even doing, Seth? Did you not go to animation college? Oh, that's right. You didn't think you needed to. Anyway, I might as well send all the linear movements now. Michael's elbow goes right through the door. If this was meant to be a joke, it sure wasn't humorous. I'm gonna get fired for that one, aren't I? Where's the rain? It was raining just as Michael was walking toward the doors, but you can't see any in the shot, nor does there appear to be a noticeable time skip. Where's the consistency, Seth? Michael's arm very clearly clips into this box and frame. Also, Michael's arm is 100% broken in this shot. It should not bend that way. Nice one, Seth. Michael's flashlight should be shining straight onto the breaker panel. But instead, the way this is blocked implies he's holding the flashlight pointed towards his hand. So first we find out Seth hasn't smoked before. That's cool. But he hasn't used a flashlight before either? This guy seriously lacks some life experience.
Break the cycle. Come follow me.
Part of Michael's shoulder clips to his chin for one frame as his head turns. This is supposed to be the window shattering, but the shards seem to only go a couple inches inward before disappearing altogether. Scrap Baby's roller skate clips through the windowsill. There's a lot of needless overexposure in this sequence. The animatronics are supposed to be shiny, but not this shiny. I was about to send Seth yet again for doing a bad job, but it turns out someone else worked on the compositing. You win this round, Seth. There's hardly any ups and downs to this run cycle. Oh, wait! No, he's good. It just clips straight through him. Michael was this close to the doors in the previous shot, but now he's just barely rounded the corner. Some discrepancy is acceptable with this much action, but this is just laughable. Also, how did Lefty appear out of nowhere behind the doors? He clearly wasn't there beforehand as Michael was running up, and I doubt the middle section of those doors are thick enough to mask a giant bear animatronic. Michael's arm experiences IK snapping here, causing a quick blur effect. Yet another rigging issue. You should be ashamed, Seth. Where did the other wires go? There should be at least one more visible, but now there's only one. And it's not even bent like any of the ones before. Consistency, please. Michael uses hacks and floats up instead of properly standing up. Unless Michael has the core and leg strength of a god, the second his hands left the floor he should have fallen straight back down to the ground. Seriously, don't try this at home. I mean, you should take care of yourself and eat healthily and exercise, but don't try this specific move at home.
The circus of the dandy.
is supposed to be a shot of Michael realizing that there's gasoline on the floor, but in truth it just looks like he's admiring the janitor's waxing skills.
Taking time, but there's no turning back the clock.
Some real cigarette magic's going on here. Not only has Henry's cigarette changed positions, he's lit it with nothing but sparks. Which is not how that works, by the way, Seth. As much as I hate to say it, you need to start smoking.
Animation sins, not actually supporting the destruction of Seth's lungs and making dumb jokes to fill time since 2020.
Henry, who is standing back a couple feet, flicks the cigarette to the side, and yet the fire starts almost directly in the center of the animatronic circle. Although this is an animation and wild things happen, the old movie trick of a cigarette lighting presumably gasoline just isn't true. That is, assuming that the liquid is gasoline and not some other flammable liquid like lacquer thinner or something along those lines. Also, this old shot is a complete remake of the theater scene from Inglourious Basterds, down to the detail of a character lighting the fire by flicking a cigarette. Seth claims he made this shot before watching this film, but we don't believe him and neither should you. Besides, Tarantino's supposed to be the one who lifts directly from his favorite movies, not you. Henry's lighter just kind of disappears into his coat. Not to mention his thumb also disappears into his torso.
Where daddy's little monsters away.
For a barrel containing explosive material, that explosion was about as violent as a failed baking soda volcano. Despite seeing embers in the ladder shot, they are only present near the ladder and nowhere else in the room. Has Seth ever seen a fire before? I hope his house burns down.
Animation sins, promoting arson of Seth's...
Huh? Too far. That's going too far? Alright. Henry isn't wearing a coat. He's wearing a cape with matching sleeves. Also, this looks just like Anakin and Obi-Wan taking off their coats before they fight in Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. Where are these cables coming from? They look like an art installation more than a sensible danger. Why are there even cables hanging in a pizzeria set? Actually, I looked at the credits again. Someone else made the set. Well, at least we can see the videos still. Scraptrap begins his run cycle with a one-legged hop. That's a very strange animation error, I gotta say. This lighting is causing some strong blue outlines, especially on Henry. Wouldn't they make more sense if they were red or orange? Or is Seth saying that Henry is at the center of the fire and it is a blue spot? So meta. Good work, Seth. Henry's little spring butt bop somehow causes Scraptrap to fall forward. Well, Henry's right wrist and quite possibly radius and ulna are now very, very broken. Probably won't be using those anytime Oh, never mind. Scraptrap is using Henry's tie to choke him, but his tie looks more like it's tucked into the front of his shirt. Also, his tie stretches way too far. Clearly, Seth has never worn a tie before. Seth should just quit YouTube and get out into the real world at this point. Mrs. Emily's eyelashes disappear when she closes her eyes. Not to mention, they are far more prominent than her entire eyebrow. Despite being on a single stretch of scaffolding here, Mrs. Emily walks off of it, then is right next to Henry. One extra sin for these terrible arm bends. Ugh. I know Mrs. Emily's hand is smaller, so fitting all 5 fingers might be difficult. But this just looks wrong. A better fix would be make her arms a little bit thicker by a half pixel as she follows Minecraft's Alex's model, and make her fingers thinner. In conclusion, this video is very good. The story is easy to follow, the visuals are great, and has an excellent choice of a song. However, it is a professional recommendation of the Animation Sins channel that Seth immediately burns down his house, quits YouTube, gets a real job, uses money from that real job to buy a new house, and starts smoking.
com a última aqui.
Hi, how are you?